Twilight Zone.
We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
These crazy days that we live in just cause me aches and pains. Lately my life is like a season of Stranger Things. This place is flooded with demons and they invade your brains. This is an artificial hell and they create the flames. Day to day I just try to stay strong and make it through. Wake people up from their slumber, that's what I came to do. Please don't believe what you see on TV and think it's true. It's all just targeted programming and it's aimed at you. It's everywhere, you're getting lied to and yet you barely care. People with common sense are now very rare. But the way that they brainwash you isn't very fair. They can shove that mind control programming up their derriere. I do not consent to the way they tailor society. Ain't no variety. Plus I really hate when they lie to me. I use music as a tool to release the anger inside of me. You don't know how fucking crazy it's driving me. That we're living in the
Twilight Zone.
They claim you have freedom but they don't honor it. The world is a prison and you're the occupant. We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
The government's useless and they're incompetent. And satanic pedophiles are prominent. We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
The things that you believe are the total opposite. And being called crazy is just a compliment. We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
It's ran by the New World Order conglomerate. But there's a storm coming and there's no stopping it. We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
It's where we live and control you through fear and terrorism. They wanna keep you in a mental prison where they tell you vision through the television. Where the ignorance is bliss and they just keep you living in it. You're a business, getting us citizenship. What did you really think that your birth certificate is? Get the straw man on. Money isn't paid, it's all a banknote. It's only a bill exchange when you pay that loan. Like a monopoly game, but you can't pass go. When you turn on the TV all day, you get politically entertainment. The news that you see is all suggested. Lower brain frequencies contribute to our stress. And you're responding, telling me that we're free living in this country. Military overseas and it's all for our peace. Just a record on repeat from the programming. Like probably want a cracker. Put you through education for domestication, control the mind faster. Giving you medication to poison our masses. If you ever question what's coming from our masters and you're rocking the boat, or you're ever having any thoughts of your own, you better hope you never caught walking alone. To be locked up and rode off by the cold. Got your life looking like a sci-fi show. Brain scribbling when the Wi-Fi's on. Airplane mode when I buy my phone. If your eyes wide closed. We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
They claim you have freedom but they don't honor it. The world is a prison and you're the occupant. We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
The government's useless and they're incompetent. And satanic pedophiles are prominent. We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
The things that you believe are the total opposite. And being called crazy is just a compliment. We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
It's ran by the New World Order conglomerate. But there's a storm coming and there's no stopping it. We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
I ask myself, why do I even bother? Cause people are just like sheep that are lining up for the slaughter. If they're killing rats with fluoride, then why is it in the water? They're using the news to fool us, divide us so they can conquer. The longer you stay asleep, then the longer I'm gonna scream at you. I can't believe you let them deceive you, it's inconceivable. I won't stop until you wake up and do what you need to do. This world is overran with an evil that is unspeakable. Most people don't know, so they just vote and pay taxes. The devil's hiding in the shadows and controlling their actions. And they think that the earth is a spinning globe on its axis. But I don't have any time to devote to this madness. I have nobody to relate to, so I ride alone. Just me and all these wild thoughts that are inside my dome. I feel like I don't belong here and I can't find my home. I'm tripping and I'm wishing it was different, but we're living in the
Twilight Zone.
They claim you have freedom, but they don't honor it. The world is a prison and you're the occupant. We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
The government's useless and they're incompetent. And satanic pedophiles are prominent. We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
The things that you believe are the total opposite. And being called crazy is just a compliment. We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
It's ran by the New World Order conglomerate. But there's a storm coming and there's no stopping it. We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
And there's nowhere that we can go. Awake and now I'm feeling all alone.
We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
And the rest that remain asleep, sedated and still thinking that we're free.
We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
And there's nowhere that we can go. Awake and now I'm feeling all alone.
We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
And the rest that remain asleep, sedated and still thinking that we're free.
We're living in the
Twilight Zone.
I'm on the next level. Yeah, I know you heard about it. You know I'm about it, and don't you ever doubt it. I'm incomparable. That's why they staring though. Turn up the stereo. Check it out, check it out, check it out. I'm not just like a sauna. New York to California. You ain't seen nothing like this. Nobody do it like this. I'm on the next level. Next level. On the next level. They all trying to catch up to my next level. Next level. On the next level. Check it out, check it out, check it out. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. You like that old school back in the music? That shit is old news. I'm popping through the ceiling. That's my motto. That's my motto. I lead, they follow. I'm about to break it down. Watch me while I work it. I'm not just like a sauna. New York to California. You ain't seen nothing like this. Nobody do it like this. I'm on the next level. Next level. On the next level. They all trying to catch up to my next level. Next level. On the next level. Check it out, check it out, check it out.
Boom, baby. Say it. Boom, baby. Boom, baby.
Oh my God, I love that. I just love it. Hey, Shapu, how you doing? You're muted.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me. Ceiling Fan Man said he might try and join. He's got a few things to do, but I know he is listening. So, hey, Ceiling Fan. Much love to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a really good show with that guy on the other night.
No, I think I just saw maybe 30 minutes of it.
Yeah, I was in and out, but I have to re-listen to the whole thing again. He was a really good guest, though. Well, we got 15 people here so far. My mom is in the house. Chris Salerno, that's my mother. Young Love's here. What's up, girl? Jeremy, I want to know more channels here. Who else we got? Juan Torres is in the house. Three Fingers here. Not a Blonde is here. That's a new name. Not a Blonde. I like that. As you can see, I am not a blonde as well.
Me neither.
I did dye my hair blonde one time, though. It was more like, I don't know. I did it myself, though. I had like some streaks in here, and then I started going crazy, and I wanted more, and then it was like too much. And then I had to just dye it back to dark and just say I was done with blonde. I did it. I went there, and now I came back. What's Juan got?
Yeah.
What's that?
It wasn't for you, light air.
Yeah, no. I mean, it looked okay. I had a nice tan and everything, but it wasn't like the whole head was blonde. I'd started with like the tips and worked my way up, and then before you know it, I was putting more and more in, and I was like, all right, this is too much now. Because I was actually bleaching my hair out, and that's not good for your hair. So I got the bleach kit, and I was doing that, and then you have to tone it, which means, it's just all this whole thing. Anyway, if anybody doesn't know, I've been cutting hair since I was, 15 years old, and I do my own hair. I cut and color my own hair, do whatever. It's always been me doing my own hair for years and years and years, ever since, like I said, what happened was I went to the beauty salon one day. And this is when spiral perms were the thing. They were the thing to get spiral perms. And as you can see here, my hair, I haven't done anything to it today. This is like natural, wavy, curly kind of stuff. So I already have hair like this. I don't need to have a spiral perm. But, silly me, I went and got a spiral perm. But this lady, she fucked it all up. she put all these layers in my hair and then gave me this spiral perm. It was like really tight and just crazy. And I couldn't do anything with it. And I was very, very upset. So from that point on, I never went back to the hair salon. And I vowed to just do my own hair. If I fuck it up, then I don't have anybody to blame but myself.
Exactly.
And I always cut my kids' hair. I always did my mom and my sister's hair. I still cut my husband's hair. Of course, I'm still doing my own hair. So, yeah. We got Michelle L2 in the house. Who else? We got John Wayne here. Holistic Media. What's up? All right, guys. We got 15 people here. I remember my original channel, the TruthSeeker69. I was just starting to get to almost like 200 people in the chat, maybe like 150, 160. And it was like, oh my gosh, really, and then they just kept hitting me. And I'm lucky if they say what they say anyways. I get like 25 to 33 people in my chat now, and that's about it. I think it's a lot more. I think they're just messing with us. But, it is what it is. I'm just grateful anybody's here listening. Tell you the truth. I noticed on your channel, Shapu, too, you haven't had your views really aren't going up or anything. Now, I always have your channel links. I don't have them tonight. I got to get them in the description box. But you would think that your views would go up, your subscriptions would have went up substantially by now, and you're really not seeing that.
No. It has stopped almost, and I get only maybe 100 or 200 views on max on stuff, but sometimes there's one that really hits up like 1,000,
Right.
So they let one through one at a time, but it's weird.
Our video that we did, it was called Antarctica Ice Free, Giant Ships in the Great War. That thing has over 3,400 views.
Yeah, it had 6,000 in your last channel before they took it down.
Yep.
It was really high. That's crazy.
A lot of my Mr. T videos from my original channel, like the one that I did about Pink, it was called They Walk Among Us. They always have. And that had over 35,000 views. I had a lot of videos that had a lot of views when the whole Mr. T thing was popping off. I was just all over that.
Yeah.
But I can't talk about that here.
No, they don't like it.
I wish I could. I could just go on and on with that, but that just gets me in more and more trouble. So
yeah,
I'll have to save that for Rockfin or something. We'll just have to do a whole Mr. T show or something one day and just have fun with it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we have to follow the rules if we want to stay on, so.
Yeah. Well, soon we won't even be able to talk about this. I have noticed a lot of attacks, not just me personally with the information that I put out, but just the whole, let's see. How can I explain this? People who put out really good videos and information and seem to bait in a lot of people to their channels because they put out a really good documentary or something like that. The most recent one is, what's it called here? Lost History of Earth. This guy did, I'm not sure how you say his name, Eranon or something like that.
Anon.
Yeah. So he was doing this Lost History of Earth stuff. This would be like somebody who has a lot of views on all their stuff, getting a lot of people to see that information and stuff, kind of viral-ish kind of thing. I call this the big bait and switch. You'll see these big channels do this kind of stuff. They come out swinging. They get all these views, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's passing it. It's passing it on. It's just so well made and all this stuff. And then not too far down the road, usually like a year or two, they switch it up. They flip. And it leaves everybody kind of like, what is going on? Like how, and they seem to dismiss all their other information and investigation and research into these topics, like say mud flood or cathedrals and stuff like that, or even Meltology. Because, I got to tell you guys, Meltology is going to be getting attacked left and right. They're already attacking flat earthers who think that mountains are tree stumps. So it's not far down the road that we're going to see a lot of hit pieces come out on us. We've been 2.5 years into this, 3, even 4 years for some people, at least on my channel, the last 2.5 years. And more people are starting to see it. And once you get to that tipping point, you start to have these big wig channels who seem to be something in the beginning. They just seem to just flip their script somewhere not too far down the road. And it seems shocking to most of us. But at the same time, I've been seeing a pattern across the board ever since, even Flat Earth and Mandela Effect came out. There was plenty of people that were on the Mandela Effect doing all kinds of streams every week. All kinds of people subscribed to them. And then they flipped the script. They're no longer, they supposedly there's just one thing that changed their mind about all of it. And now, it's just a whole different story with them. And we've been seeing this a lot. And these are those gatekeepers that come in. What it is they have such a following that I think that in their minds that if they do the switch, that they're going to take all those people with them and they're going to steer them away from it. But actually they lose a lot of people in the process. This is, again, another separation of the wheat and the tares and everything. There's devils among us, guys. There's devils everywhere. And they've infiltrated everything. And we all have to be very vigilant and keep the armor of God up around us and pray for each other. Pray for each other to have the grace and fortitude to get through this and to really use our discernment, because I've been fooled so many times by so many people. Now this guy, this lost history of Earth guy, I don't think I really listened to much of his stuff, but I know there's a lot of people who are pretty autodidactic, just did a video about it. And they're all kind of like somebody got to him, something happened along the way. Even the way he presents stuff is different. And we've seen this across the board. Even going back to the Rob Skiba stuff, 1 minute he's on board with truth and the next minute, he's selling masks. And then, now he's gone. So there's all these questions and unanswered, questions and stuff. And, maybe we'll never have all the answers to all this stuff, but we'll know them by their fruits. And eventually, somewhere along the line, they're going to show their fruits. And we're seeing it more and more now. And I just wanted to bring that up and for everybody to be prepared, because Meltology is definitely a huge target. And it's coming. We've seen personal attacks on my work and different channels, but it's going to expand out because, see, they cannot have you know this truth. Okay, you figured out Earth's flat. Well, there's an ice wall and you can't go anywhere. So you need to stay within your ice wall. You can think the Earth's flat all day long. We don't care. But as long as you know there's an ice wall, because that's what they do. There's ice wall gatekeepers. They don't want you to realize that the plane is not how we thought it is set up. The things that are around us, that geologists give us the terms of mountains and gorges and ravines and waterfalls and all this stuff like that, are there, so we have a deception of what these things are around us. But I think we're meant to see this melted building stuff, and we should have been seeing it this whole time, just like we should have been knowing that we're on a flat plane. If there was a terrible event that took place at some point in the past, whether it's a very short time ago or a very long time ago, clearly something happened that melted shit, okay, and transformed the formation of these things into something else. And I think the reason we see a lot of the partial building left that's still melted, and you can make out that it's a building and stuff, is a reminder to us to not forget that this thing happened once before. And if you don't watch what you're doing, this could very well happen again. But see, the people who control our plane don't want us to see that and have that reminder. They want us to be ignorant to it. So we do make all these mistakes and we don't care, and we never know the consequences of what could happen and how this plane really works and how we affect what could happen. Because like Shapu said with his theory, that if we're in a really good place and we have a light heart, if there is some type of cyclical thing that takes place, maybe it wouldn't be so severe if our energies are in the right place and in tune with, say, the labor pains or birthing pains of the next cycle that we have to go through. It could be very severe if we're in the wrong place and have the wrong intentions and that negative space. I mean, look what's going on around us. Everybody's either living in fear or they just have this I just don't give a crap attitude now. It's all service to self, not service to others. And if it is service to others, it always winds up being service to self somewhere on the back end of things. So, I'm giving it as charity, but really it's just pumping me up and making me look better. And that's why I'm doing it. These types of things. And I do think that we're in line with another shift that could be happening in the near future, that we are on the cusp of that. What it looks like, is it the second, third, fourth coming of Jesus? I don't know, but it's coming. Something is coming, and we need to be prepared, and we need to be in the right headspace. And, maybe it's not the most important thing in the world to know that all this stuff is melted and muffed up and everything, but it's definitely something that needs to be known so you understand that this could happen again. And all this knowledge has been kept from us. It's been right in front of our faces. How many mountains have you climbed up? How many trails have you been down? How many rivers have you swum in? How many waterfalls have you dived off of and stuff? These are all parts of this melted realm that we're in. And Sodom and Gomorrah is just a very, very small part of this. And I got to tell you another thing, guys. I was looking at some excerpts of the Quran, and I was shocked because I'd never read the Quran, but they talk about the destruction in the Quran, and they talk about how these destroyed cities have been left over, and we walk through the shadows of them, and we can't even see them, and they've been left there as a reminder for us from God to hey, look, I destroyed this city, but there's a little remnant of it here and there to remind you, watch what you're doing, watch who you're mingling with, and who you surround yourself with, and watch, these devils are everywhere, and their whole goal is to take us down with them. Oh God, that was quite an opening rant there. 22 minutes. I'm sorry.
It was good, Jen. I couldn't stop listening.
But Meltology is definitely on the chopping block for these people, and it's coming. It's going to be hitting us hard, fast, and furious. They're going to make us look crazy, like we're complete fools. Hell, they've already said, some of them have already said that we're retarded and all this stuff like that. Okay, this is just the beginning, and what I say is we all ignore it and we keep moving forward. And I do have the excerpts from the Quran in my screen shots here, and I would like to go over some of them because I think it's very important I'm actually going to read this, the text, when I have a chance. I want to start reading the Quran and see how it compares to the Bible, because I was shocked at how similar it is. Just these few verses that I'd found in this video I was doing screenshots on. So let me get these ready.
Yeah, they're based on the same basis.
Yeah. Okay.
Books. Yeah.
Yeah. I just, they have us looking at the Quran, and people who read the Quran as fanatical and religious fanatics and all this stuff. Like, I don't even know what I can say and not say about this topic right now. But all right. Can you see this okay?
Now, yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. So this one doesn't have the verse for the Quran on it here. It says, do they not find any guidance when they see how many cities that God destroyed? So they are now fallen into ruin, and they walk among their dwellings? ? So it's asking you, do they not find guidance when they see how many cities God has destroyed? Guidance meaning, hey, look, these cities were destroyed for a reason. You don't want to wind up like them. You know what I'm saying? So let me go to this next one here. So this is chapter 11, verse 102, maybe. I don't know how it works with the Quran. It says, and thus is the seizure of the Lord when he seizes the cities while they are committing wrong. Indeed, his seizure is painful and severe. So they're talking about the destruction of cities. Now, Sodom and Gomorrah is mentioned in here. And I've always said that, I feel like Sodom and Gomorrah was not an isolated event. They give us that event, that particular section there. But I think it was a plain-wide event that took place in many locations.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so this one's chapter 30, verse 42, Quran. It says, so say, travel through the land and observe how the end was for those before. They want you to travel through the land and observe how the end was for those before. Most of them were associators of others with God. Okay. Did I say that right? Associators? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what they're saying here is to travel through the land and observe how the end was for those before. And this is what they talk about Sodom and Gomorrah, even, that you could still walk through and see parts of that city left, even though it's still in ashy ruins. And it was left as a reminder for us. So we know what happened. And it's important to know what happened so we don't repeat the same mistakes again. Again, this is from the Quran, 14:45. For you lived among the dwellings of those who wronged themselves, and it has become clear to you how we dealt with them. And we set forth many examples for you. Meaning there's many examples all over the place of these ruined cities, these destroyed cities. There's things that you can visually see that have, like Petra, for instance. That's a melted city that's been destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay, this is again from the Quran, 22:46. So have they not traveled through the earth and have hearts by which to reason and ears by which to hear? For indeed, it is not eyes that are blind, but the hearts are blind from which are within the chests. So what they're saying here is that how can you go through the land and not see and not hear? Because we've been going through our lands all this time, climbing up these mountains and trails and all this other stuff, and not seeing really what was in front of our eyes because we've been blinded from the truth. We are under a perception deception since the day we arrived here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, again, this is the Quran, 22:45. So how many cities did we destroy while they were committing wrong? So they are now fallen into ruin. And how many abandoned wells and how many lofty places? That's right. They're everywhere, guys. There's so many of them. Okay, here's another one, 138 Quran. For indeed, you pass by them at dawn and at night. They will you not use. Okay, then will you not use reason? So here they're even telling you, indeed, you pass by them at dawn and at night. You ride down the highways, and there's on the side of the highways these outcroppings of rock faces that run all the way down the highways and stuff like that. You can go through the Grand Canyon everywhere. They're all over the place, guys, these destroyed cities. For indeed, Sodom is situated on an established road. Indeed, there is a sign in that for the believers. So they're saying here, you can't miss Sodom. It's situated on an established road. Anybody's going to go past these ruins and see them, and they'll be like, oh, snap. We remember what happened to those people. We better not do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, again, 128 Quran. Then does it not guide them when they see how many generations we destroyed before them as they walk among their dwellings? Indeed, there are signs in that for those of intelligence. Guys, they don't want you to have intelligence. They don't want you to have the clear perception of what has taken place in the past. They want you under perception deception with no intelligence and wisdom and grace and fortitude behind you at all. They want you to see what they want you to see. That's why you have geology. That's why you have archaeology. That's why you have his story. All right, let's move on.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, so we got 4425. I don't know, -27 Quran. For how many gardens and springs did they leave behind? And also crops and noble sites of pyramids and comfort within their amusement. I read that wrong. Comfort wherein they were amused. And there's another one here I have to look at that says pyramid as well. So this one, it says, for we have already destroyed what surrounds your cities. We have already destroyed what surrounds you of cities. And we have explained the signs so that perhaps they might return from disbelief.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see here what's going on here. I think it's just... Okay, so say travel through the land and observe how the end was for criminals. travel through the land and observe how the end was for those criminals. (47:10) the Quran. So they have not traveled through the land and seen how the end was for those before them. God destroyed everything over them, and there is something comparable for the disbelievers. There is something comparable. Something is coming for the disbelievers who did not see and have wisdom and understand that this is what happened before. We're showing you guys, whether you don't like the word melt or meltology or whatever, we're showing you that there was some kind of an extreme X factor event that took place. And I don't know how long ago it was. We can only guess at that, okay? But it seems to have been within the last 500 years. So they're distorting a timeline. They're giving a perceptive deception about a timeline that brought us supposedly to where we are now. They add time on, they take time off, they divide the times.
Yeah.
I'm going to read that again. So have they not traveled through the land and seen how the end was for those before them? God destroyed everything over them, and there is something comparable for the disbelievers. So, and I think this was the first one I read. Do they not find guidance when they see how many cities that God destroyed? So you need to find guidance from that. You don't want to end up like Sodom and Gomorrah and all the other toasted places around here. So they are not fallen into ruin. They walk among their dwellings. Okay, so here's one. It says 6:4-5 Quran, but no signs come from them from the signs of their Lord, except that they turn away therefrom. For they had denied the truth when it came to them. But the news of what they used to ridicule is going to reach them. So, see, guys, just like Flat Earth, they used to ridicule us, but we're getting a lot of ridicule now about this topic. And, first they ridicule us, we were violently opposed, and then eventually it reaches them. They get it. But then when the people who are the gatekeepers who don't want anybody to get it, they'll never get it. Their job isn't to get it. Their job is to try to steer you away from it.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's 40:81-82 Quran. And thus he shows you his signs. So which of the signs of God do you deny? Or have they not traveled through the land and observed how the end was for those before them? He shows you his signs. So which of the signs of God do you deny? Do you deny that there was an X factor event and shit got melted and muffed up and mud flooded? Do you deny it? Do you make fun of it? Do you want to shame people who see this kind of stuff just like they did to us with the flat earth? Okay. And this 3-day walk is okay. This was about the Tower of Babel, this little section here. Thought that was interesting. It says the Book of Jubilee, and the clay with which they cement them together was asphalt, which came out of the sea and out of the fountains of the water in the land of Shinar. We were talking about this asphalt before, Shapu, when we were talking about Sodom and Gomorrah, and I really screenshotted this just for you. This is from the Book of Jubilee, Torah.
Yeah, because that's what they call the Dead Sea. Like,
right.
Yeah. So it comes from the buildings that the cement was asphalt. Yeah.
And I think that black drippy stuff that we see running down a lot of stuff, that was an asphalt type of material. I could be wrong about that. I've never been out there to test it, but it looks like tar asphalt.
Yeah.
And thus, those before them had already plotted, but God came at their building from the foundations. So the roof fell upon them from above, and the punishment came to them from where they did not perceive. Yeah. They didn't expect it to come from underneath. They didn't expect the heat to come from underneath and rise up. It says, and thus, those before them had already plotted, but God came at their building from the foundations. That means from underneath, guys. Boom, baby. Just saying.
Saying, yeah.
Okay, this is interesting here. This is the book of Jasher, 922, the Torah, for the building of the tower. And then it says, in parentheses, the pyramid of Babel was a transgression and a sin to them, and they began to build it. They're calling it the pyramid of Babel. How interesting is that? I never heard it called that before, so I had to screenshot that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not called pyramid in the Bible.
Right. So I just never saw any print with that, pyramid and Babel in the same sentence. So I had to definitely screenshot that. I think that's all I got on that right now, but let me go, let's see over here. What do we got?
Yeah, it's just that to use your eyes and your heart to see, not your eyes and your mind, because you'll be fooled by those who put these stories in your mind, like the scientists and all of these. Use your heart to discern what you see instead of your brain, because you can be fooled easily.
So here we have it's Rajasthan. It's a fortification in India, Rajasthan. And I just wanted to show this example because you could see that this whole supposed mountain is the building. If I scroll in here, you could see that the heat came up from the bottom at the foundations. Okay. It's chews up this thing here. It left a pocket of survival through here, but most of this is destroyed. We're only seeing the remnants from this above section here and all this.
Yeah.
So this is an example of one of those things that was destroyed, but still has pockets of survival. And you can see how the heat came up from the bottom. You can see the different levels and tiering of this thing here.
Yeah, this place is amazing.
Yeah. And like you said, Chapu, a lot of these places they rebuild for tourism and stuff. And I think that is, I mean, I got to say some of it, I think it's to mock God, the rebuilding of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be. But
well, if God destroys it, it's destroyed for a reason. Like, are they supposed to be rebuilding it? You know what I mean? I don't know. But here's another angle to this particular fortification here. Again, if this would have melted more, they would have just said this was just some mountain. Like, say if all of this had gotten more damaged and there was only this part up here, it would just look like the rest of down here. Yeah. But again, you could see how this whole thing is the building.
Yes.
All this down here. Places. India's got some crazy stuff all over the place. India's got just crazy stuff. Look at this place. We're going to zoom in on this if it'll let me. Here we go. It looks like most of the tech's been taken down off these things. Yeah. Doesn't look like it's in good condition.
No, they took away all the gold, probably.
Yeah, I would see, to me, I could see this whole thing being covered in gold. I think that's what they did. They took all the gold down. This is how these people got all their wealth and riches and stuff like that. And they have all the gold and everything.
Exactly. That's why they still paint these big one gold.
Yes.
Just to remind you that they were gold, actually.
Exactly. Here's another one of their fortification. The whole thing is the building. This is, if this would have melted down, you would say this is a mountain. See how it juts out right here? This is like what we were seeing on Vesuvius, the side of Vesuvius, with these buildings and stuff coming down it and popping out of it.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Now we only see one of these square, but probably had the same type of buildings.
Mm-hmm. This place is massive.
Yeah. Even in the background, there's another one up.
Yeah, right up here.
Yeah.
I think India and Pakistan both have a Great Wall. I think there's a Great Wall of India too, right?
Yeah.
There's one more picture in here. Well, that's the one we were just looking at on the first page. Okay, so that's it for that one. But I want to get over to these wishing trees. Let me see here real quick. Yeah, we're going there. All right, so these are in Scotland. I had touched on the whole wishing tree a while back. Hold on a second. Let me see here. Did I close something out that I shouldn't have? I think I might have. Hold on. Let me go back to my Facebook. Get this other page up here. If it'll work for me. Oh, maybe it's not going to work. Okay, so we'll just stick on this page. You can see this okay, right, Chipu?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to check out some of these pictures. They're mostly in Scotland, but they're in England too, and some in Ireland. Chipu showed me one in Mount Fuji. I didn't even realize there was any over there. But so these wishing trees, the story is on them, is that people would take their coins and hammer them into these trees to have good fortune. Good luck and good fortune. And I was trying to find the article here where it says the oldest coin that was found was 1822. But on a lot of these coins, you can't even see anything on them. Some of the pictures that I'm going to show you here. Look at this one. This one's crazy. Look at all this.
Yeah.
Now, some of them are bent over. I don't know what that's all about. They look like they've been like literally pushed over, bent, hammered over, or melted over. I don't know which, guys.
When you hammer hit in on.
Well, the one look at this one, Chipu. I mean, are you kidding me? What is this?
Yeah. Okay.
Who? What? I can't even comprehend this. I must just be too stupid to comprehend this.
There's so many. It's crazy.
And look at how they're like melted looking. I'm just sorry. I hate it. I hate saying it right now, but it looks like who did all this?
I don't know.
It's crazy.
I remember the first show you did and you showed this. I never heard of it. Found it so amazing.
Yeah, I actually chalked it up to a Mandela effect at the time because I was like, no way. What's going on with all this? So somebody stuck a new coin right in here, sat here, but see how you can't even see what these coins are? They're just so muffed up and corroded and stuff. I mean, I know it's a little blurry right there and stuff, but basically they're all kind of rusted up and stuff like that. But it's weird how they're all bent over. And then there's these ones. Look at these. What is this? Is this like a mushroom tree or something?
I don't know.
There was a guy who was hammering one in with a brick. It was hysterical. I got to find that picture. You know, I got to go back over here to my Facebook and try to open that up. See if I can get it to work. Here. It was the Yandex one. All right, let me see if I can get this to load.
Wow. On the roots. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I'll let that load. I'll go back over here for a second. So, yeah, it's very strange, this whole thing. Okay, so you got some new ones here. I don't know how they bend over the way they do. Why they get bent over like that. And this one, look at all this. You would think that's leaves at first. When you first glance at it, it's like, oh, that's just leaves. But no, this is all coins. This is my thumbnail I used, I think. I mean, Chipu, where is the tree? I don't even see any tree.
No, you can't see it anymore.
This is them getting rid of all the coins after the reset. I don't know. Are they trying to make a tree into a piece of tech and make it magnetic or something? or electromagnetic stuff, creating a fasci. I don't know.
I don't know.
All this money in this tree, nobody's getting rich. The tree's getting all the money. Maybe there's a big windstorm that comes along and it just folds over some of them. Just fold over like that. I don't know. I don't know, but this stuff is nuts. I mean, people go hunting for buried treasure and old coins, and they're all just sitting here in these trees, embedded in them.
Yes.
I mean, what? Why has nobody ever come along and tried to steal any of this money? I don't know. If it was here in America, they would. I know that. All right, hold on.
Yeah, that's why there's none in America.
Yeah, I got none here. Where
Somebody
did all my pictures go?
sold this for the copper or something.
All right. So here's one. Let me bring up this picture here. You can see them. They're really bent over. It's just so intriguing. I have, there's a historical narrative, but do you even buy the historical narrative? I don't know. I don't know what to believe.
Maybe just people just bash them with rocks, like you say, and they just hit them, all the others, while bashing in their coin. I don't know.
I'm trying to let this load up a little more here. There we go. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. Yeah, they call them money trees or wishing trees.
No, but these
They're
coins
so
are really
bizarre.
thick, you know? These are.
Yeah, they're thick and they're old. Now, I don't know that to buy the historical narrative of the early coin found in one of these, maybe in that location was 1822, but I mean, could heat do this to coins? You tell me. I don't know. Could it bend them like that? Some of them are going in the opposite direction, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just weird.
Because they're all bent,
Very strange. Very, very strange. Here's another one. Let's look at this one. Get out of here with this. I don't even know what to say. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where that picture went of that guy with he had a brick in his hand. It was a gray brick too. It wasn't even a red brick. It was like gray looking. And he was hammering in his coin. They're trying to show you how they do it and stuff. All right, here's that one we were looking at earlier, but from a different angle, from straight on. Look at this thing. I mean, there is no spot where there's not a coin. None ever fell out. Nobody ever picked any out. Clearly, they're all here. Now, see, on this side here, they're all kind of bending over this way. I don't know. I don't know what could have did that. Clearly, the tree's dead. It's not growing anymore or nothing. All these are facing the same direction. They're all bent that way. Somebody leave a comment in the chat. What do you think did this? Could it be heat? I don't know. Yeah, they're all coins. D-man. We got 44 people here.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah. I've seen too. Lately, they people found coins buried deep in like pots and old coins, and they're all like stuck together.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what they're doing with these old coins. This is.
I don't know, but it's nuts. Just one more nutty thing in our world. Here's another picture. I was looking at this last night. I think we already looked at this one, but I'm going to zoom in again on it anyway. I mean, you can't even see the tree. There's no part, besides this one piece sticking out way down there, but, look at this. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
It clearly was quite popular. I never heard of it, though. But, I guess I don't hear about everything.
Yeah.
Okay, here he is. Here's the guy with the brick. I was looking for him. He's getting ready to hammer his in. He should show you this is the way it was done. I just thought it was interesting that he picked up what looks to be like a brick. Let's try and put his
But
coin in there.
you can see, and on this one, the coin are not bent. Not at
Exactly.
all.
This is what I'm saying. Why is it that those ones with the really old coins, they all look like, dare I say, they were affected by heat? I could be wrong. I wasn't there. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I want to know where does it come from, this tradition of wishing trees? You know, what's the source?
Well, it's where the lore began. Yeah, I don't know. It's just people just started putting their coins in these trees and making wishes. Like you, so for us over here in America, we throw our coins in the fountains, wishing wells, and stuff like that. Over there, it was the wishing tree. That's supposed to be their excuse for it. I don't know. There's one that's a tree stump.
Yeah. We did that with beer bottles, beer caps. You know.
Right? Yeah. We used to make those beer chains with the beer tabs. You'd pull off the beer a long time ago. They had the beer tab things, and you could fold it over and make chains. My son's father, back when we were like 16 and we used to party down in this basement all the time, had this fucking chain of beer tabs going all across the pipes because you could see the pipes because you're in the basement of the house.
Yeah.
So we had them crisscrossing all the way through and everything like that. It was like a lot. Every party we would just grab the beer tab. We partied a lot.
Yeah, I understand.
Back in the day. Copper coin tree. This one is a copper coin tree. I guess only the copper coins are allowed in this tree. Yeah. See how some of them are like so muffed up you can't see nothing on them. They're almost like a blank slate, kind of.
Yeah.
Some of them you can see remnants of things. They just all are so bent over and stuff. I don't know.
Crazy to me. Even the corner, you can see that it's only coins. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Now look at this one, Wishing Tree, Scotland. Coins in a tree. Okay, and these ones must have been copper too. I guess they kind of have a green tint to them.
Yeah.
Well, these look a little newer though.
Well,
Like
they've
newer.
been
A couple of bent
oxidized.
over ones. Yeah.
It looks like there's some that are not coins. I don't know.
Hold on, let me
Looks
go
like
back to it.
like the one you see like flat. Like these are
Right,
coins
right
on
here?
the corner. Yeah. This one.
Doesn't even have
Looks
nothing
like-
on it. It looks like
Yeah.
maybe something maybe faded there. Huh. Yeah, some crazy stuff with these wishing trees. Okay, so let me go back over here. I think we looked at all that. That one. This one's crazy. Every time I see these things, they just leave me scratching my head. I'm going to drop this.
I just
Go
don't
ahead.
know.
What'd you say?
It's the same for me. I just don't know why and what and how, you know.
All right. I dropped the link in the chat. Hopefully that works if anybody wants to check it out. Hopefully it wasn't too big and it works. Okay. Now it did? Look like it went in there. Okay. Scroll down the chat. Okay. So let's go over here real quick. Let's take a look at Jacob's Ladder here, my site that I've shown many times on all old live streams that I've done. So we're going to look at this tech that we find on the stupas and the pagodas because I have some interesting stuff we're going to take a look at here. So this is our plane, and it's set up to be some kind of dielectric plane of inertia with a Tesla coil. It's like a torus field. And this seems to be somewhat of the shape of the cosmology of it. And if you use this technology and you put this into your buildings, then you'll be able to harness this etheric energy, this electromagnetic energy. And you can also tune into different frequencies of it. And we're going to go look over here real quick at this site, which is, what's the name of this here? It says the aerial top view of Kuthodu Stupa, big golden pagoda, surrounded by shrine books. Okay, so we have all of these perfectly placed shrines. And within every one of these shrines is a piece of a book. And they call it the biggest book in the world because it's 729, is it 729 pages? But they're carved on like marble. And we're going to take a look at this because this is all set up just like a fucking receiver station. It is receiving etheric energy. This was a power plant, guys, in the old world. Now, this one here most likely has been reconstructed and reconfigured. I don't have old pictures on it, but I'm sure Chapu could find old pictures of this thing before it got reconstructed when it was still pretty damaged, I'm sure. But if I go over here to this site, it says home of the world's largest book. And I was like, okay, this is intriguing. Let's see the largest book. What the heck does that even mean? So it says it's known as the world's largest book, but it doesn't look much like any book you've ever seen. So here you can see down one of the aisles of all of these shrines, they call them. You can see they have pretty ornate tech on top of them. And it is eerily reminiscent to what we see in cemeteries. And then it says here, each of the 729 pages is a large marble tablet inscribed with text from the Tipitaka, some of the Buddhist scripture. I totally butchered that word. I'm sorry. The text was originally in gold, but it has since long weathered away, or so they would have you believe. They probably just stole it. Each page is housed in its own individual white stupa. They radiate out in a concentric square from a central golden stupa. From the air, it looks like a remarkably uniform above-ground cemetery. Their words, not mine. Okay? Cemetery, right there. Now, I've told you guys that cemeteries are not what they're telling us. They're full of obelisks that probably used to have tech on top, maybe covered in gold, who knows, and that there's something completely different going on with graveyards and cemeteries than what they're telling us, because of the stuff that we find there is the same as the things that we find on tops of buildings. Okay, the earliest dated example of written Burmese language was in 1112 or 1113 on a stone slab. Okay, the main stupa is modeled after the 11th century Shwezian pagoda in Yangyu near Bigan. But this one is much newer, dating back to the 1860s during the reign of King Mindit. So they're saying that this is newer. I don't know whether to believe or not believe in the historical narrative on this site, but I am reading you what the narrative is that they're giving you. You could see a lot of stuff going on here. We're totally missing the whole top of this thing here, but a lot of tech going on here on these supposed temples. You can see that one right there. Now, this would have all have been covered in real gold. Real gold. It is non-corrosive. It outlasts silver and copper. It will not corrode. And if you're having a giant circuit board in this area that you're building out, you're going to want to use gold. This is some of the tablets in each one of the stupas that is written in their language that comes from their god. This is a close-up of part one of the page etched in marble. So each one of these little stupas houses one of these marble etchings. So each one would be a page in the book. But again, I think we're looking at an array here, a receiving array. Now, this language could have its own frequency and could help channel whatever they're tuning into to get this etheric energy to which would make their grid system work.
Yeah.
When you have this is not just not ornate stuff that they put on top of their little stupas here, just so it looks pretty. There's a functionality to this.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the Amimoto experiment with rice and water. When you write some bad words on it, it goes bad, and good words, it's good. So maybe these words are, do the same
Absolutely.
effect. Yeah.
Yep. Let me see here. I wanted to read something to you down here. It's interesting that this looks like the Tower of Babel here, but let me go down here to this.
Yeah, this site is great.
It is. It really is. Okay, so this is just like DJED columns. Okay, this is what I wanted to get to here. If you look over here, these are just like DJEDs on top of this thing. This is harnessing energy and then radiating it out. Let me go back over here. The Egyptian DJED is similar in shape and function to modern high voltage insulators. The spinal cord directs and insulates electric signals from the brain to the body in the same way the DJED and high voltage insulators do. Now, if we go up here, it says, just as Jacob saw the angels ascending and descending from the gates of heaven, Jacob's ladder, symbol of the human backbone, also sends messages and receives messages, electrical impulses from the gate of heaven, which is our third eye, our pineal gland, which they have us completely cut off from, and don't make sure that people are so, messed up in the head about, opening your third eye and what it even is, that most people won't even go near it and even look into any of that stuff. And I have admittedly been one of those people. But we have been stunted from our true nature from the day we arrive here. They start pumping us up with, what's. We're eating trash from day one, and nothing that's good for us, right? Our pineal gland then calcifies over after the age of 5. As we move into puberty, it's almost fully calcified over. That is a huge disconnect. These people before were not disconnected like that. Maybe they eventually started honing into the wrong frequencies and shit went sideways. But I think when you're on a harmonious level and your whole grid system and you're in tune with the harmonious nature of our realm and how it works and working with it, not against it, how we are, there's probably a symphony, a constant hum of a symphony through the air. Like there is no stress. There is no anxiety. There is none of all that negativity because it cannot exist in that type of frequency.
Yeah. It's how does Walter Russell called it, like a sexual energy and interchange with the world, not in the sexual way, but a plus minus man, woman, always in constant relation with the world.
Yep.
Always exchanging and receiving that the people have.
And the peace symbol behind me with its arms up is giving and receiving love and light.
Yeah,
guys. So, this energy, this frequency field that we are immersed in all around us, it has a significant impact on us, on our soul level, where our minds are. And this is why they're pumping us like crazy with these mini microwaves. There's this 5G network that they have us surrounded around. Here it says the mast of the stupa, which represents the cosmic axis, functions like an antenna that channels the ether energy from the heavens into the earth. The heavens are represented by the chakras umbrella that are on the mast. So here you could say that this is set up exactly like the spine of Osiris, the DJED column, the Tesla coil. It's our realm is set up in this particular way, and that you can utilize it on a macro or micro level. This is why supposedly Tesla because they just gave him the honor of being the supposed inventor of this stuff. You can have a Tesla coil that's this big, or one that's gigantic. It depends on what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
I have not been looking at the chat. I apologize, guys. I've just really been focused on this stuff. So let's go back over here to this thing and what we were looking at. I just wanted to refresh people's memories on this stuff here. This place has really, really cool pictures. This is the covered walkway from the main entrance to the interior of the complex. Now, they call these complexes temples. They're temples or tombs or some type of cathedral, place of worship, this type of stuff. I say that these were components on the grid system that were utilized by higher etheric energies and beings. I think that we were, if there was a type of golden age, we were more like light bodies than what we are now, as dense and physical as we are now. I think our vibrational frequency was too high to be obtained or contained in this body, that we were more of a light body.
Yeah, we could do the both, you know, we could be in our body and out of the body whenever we want and interchange and interact, but now we just stuck. We're stuck in this meat suit.
Yeah, I packed that earlier, hon. I was going to smoke out of it. So here's some of this fancy tech on this. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just looking at the chat, and Melanie Moran just said that she loved our shows.
Oh, we love you, girl. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. And thank you for your donation the other day. It's greatly appreciated. Look at how ornate this tech is, guys. It was not just for ornateness, though. This had a functionality to this particular component on the grid system. What they were creating here was a receiver, etheric receiver station. And they could probably, just like HARP, tune this whole complex into the tuning frequency that they wanted. We just think it's frequency based, but you can hone these frequencies. You can tune them. If you can figure out the frequency of cancer, and you can tune into that cancer and double it, but create another positive over it, and it'll completely dissipate. Just like that. Just like that. It's that fucking simple. Just like that. Just saying.
Yeah. But I think there's also a part that you have to like believe that it works too, you know, because they tried it on other people and it didn't work with some, and it did work with others, you know. So
it will work with the machine, the frequency machine itself. It will work. Maybe it would take a little bit longer for it to happen if somebody was a disbeliever. But when people use their own energy, their own kinetic energy, and they get together and they get that kinetic energy going, and they're already in that energetic headspace, and they lay hands on somebody to heal them.
Yeah.
They have shown, and especially with the person themselves believing it and going with that, their energy, honing their energy into that area to dissipate it and make it, it's already gone. You have to come at it with the energy of it's already gone. You're not trying to get rid of it. You're not hoping it goes away. You're not willing it to go away. It's already gone. That's where you got to be. You got to be ahead of it. It's already gone. And then it will go away because it cannot exist because it's already gone. So they can't exist. You're just hitting it with too much frequency of that. It's like you make it go out of existence. See what I'm saying? And you will manifest it into existence too if you have the opposite frequency. Like a lot of people, I think, will themselves to be sick. Well, you know, cancer runs in my family, or, you know, diabetes, all this stuff like that. And, you know, they're going to have it. You know, you hear these whole families that have breast cancer. Well, there's one or two things. Either they're all manifesting it onto themselves, or they're all using the same deodorant, or it could be both.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's one of those two.
Like you said, it really is. They're saying it, and they think that because their siblings got it, they will got it, and
yes,
they probably make it true for them, you know. Because I looked at I listened to the show with Audi Mikowski this week, and he made a good point about the. I already look at these studies of multiple personalities people. You know, they always did the big studies on them, and you see when they switch from one to another, all their personality changes, and even illnesses leave their bodies. You know, so just changing the mindset makes you another person. You know, so
That is true. I've heard of people who speak in other languages and languages
yeah,
they didn't even know they knew.
yeah,
So
exactly.
either their frequencies being tuned into other entity people and maybe in other locations that are in the same frequency that they are, and but they speak another language, they don't have the disease you have, but that frequency is now tuned into your body space, and that's what's coming out of your mouth, and that's who you are at the time. You see what I mean? Like kind of like you're tuning into different stations, right?
Yeah.
And past life regression too. There's a lot going on with that stuff.
Yeah, it's probably just tuning on different frequency. Yeah, these are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that there's multiple personalities in people. I think that's definitely. But see, the thing is that there's just one person. There's you, and your soul is in your body. But when your soul gets torn apart by all this trauma that would happen to you, and whatever would break you, that allows another entity to come in and jump onto your frequency and hijack it. And then another one, and then another one. And then you get lost in all that. You're so fractured. That frequency is scrambled. And now you have these other entities taken over. And I don't know if it's spiritual or
Yeah.
It's hard to explain the whole split personality thing, but it's definitely a fracture that takes place on a soul level. And that fracture that leaves you open for other things to start coming in and hijacking your frequency and keeping your frequency down. Stuff so far down that, your original personality, who you are, your true soul level gets completely squashed out. That's what happens. Anyway.
Evil entities can only act through us. They cannot act like directly.
This is why they do trauma-based mind control, not only to the populace across the plane, but on these, MK Ultra levels, all the stories that we heard way back in the day, all those rabbit holes we went down, they have to constantly do fear-based and trauma-based mind control to fracture that person down in order to get all this to happen, to get all these personalities to come in so they're more controllable and stuff like that. Yeah. And they'll do what they want and everything. And they do it on a massive scale. We're all experiencing trauma-based mind control through the Tell Lies to Your Vision and all the propaganda and everything that's happened over the last
2 years. Yeah, it's just. Yeah. I've got a great example of this. Just today, I went to my friend's house, and one of their daughters have the supposed thing, and because they're separated, and the father just tested the children, and one was with a positive, and the sister just said, I'm so scared, why? They just fuck the children, man.
Yeah, that's who they got to get. They got to get this generation coming up with this fear-based mind control and keep that whole thing going.
Yeah, now they are afraid of this word, this illness, this virus, or this, just crazy.
It's funny how they have lights strung all over this thing. I bet back in the day when it was functional, it probably just lit up all on its own.
Yeah.
See, they painted this fake gold color now, but there used to be real gold on all this stuff, guys.
Yeah.
Some places the gold remains, but most of it has been taken away. So let me go back over here to this Jacob's ladder thing and see if I can get the other thing I wanted to show you guys in reference to this stuff. It's way down here. DJeds. We looked at that. Here we get into spine. So, in fact, not only does the DJed channel the energy of Osiris, Nimrod, Orion into the building, but the building themselves are shaped as Osiris also. The shape of the building antenna helps to facilitate the transfer of energy on a specific frequency so that it cannot be confused with others. Because of this, the dimensions of the building must be precise as the lesser temple on earth must be an exact copy of some greater temple in heaven in order for the fractal oscillation of energy to occur successfully.
Yeah, exactly.
An antenna is designed of materials and dimensions appropriate to the wavelengths in which it has an interest, guys. They don't want you to know none of this stuff. DJed columns. You will see these columns all over buildings and all the old world tech. The buildings are the tech. The tech is built right into the buildings. That's why you see so many columns in Egypt. This is why you see so many columns in all the Capitol buildings and all the Greek buildings and all the Roman buildings and stuff. Columns, rows and rows and rows of columns going down roads and stuff.
Yeah.
Go down here. A bit further. Okay, so the energy of specific celestial bodies are channeled into the temple of Osiris Baal, effectively transforming the minds and bodies of individuals exposed to the energy. So that means
The mind.
that the stupa is set up in a way that the mast of the stupa is set up. It's an antenna set up a certain way to pick up a certain frequency. And it depends on what you're tuned into, what you're going to get. Here it says you're going to get Baal. You don't want Baal. I'm just saying. But nonetheless, this is showing you how it works. And it says the stupa or gab H1354 magnifies the energy inside of the temple chamber and quickens the process of enlightenment. This enlightenment can be defined as a unification of mind and body of man, the human physical temple, with the mind and body of the spiritual God energy of the temple. So if you're channeling in some bad energy, you're gonna have that and harness that energy, and it won't be good.
Yeah.
Just saying. You gotta know what you're doing when you mess around with this stuff. Anyway, they have their gods and we have Jesus, so there's that. But I'm just telling you how this stuff works. These temples are typically built in a specific location that aligns with particular energies that aid in the process of transformation and enlightenment. I think there was a lot more going on besides this whole enlightenment. And another thing, too, is that they have us looking at this whole enlightenment thing as like enlightenment, Illuminati, Lucifer, all this stuff like that. There is a lot to all of this stuff that has made, we look at it as taboo, that we should better understand about ourselves and how we work, because we are lings of the earth. Okay, the earth is set up as a torus field, an electromagnetic plane of inertia. It's like a torus field of Tesla coil. So our body's set up the same way with our spines. It talks about the spine of Osiris, our brains and electrical signals back and forth. And then we can also build out our grid system within the plane itself in the same mannerisms with the same. This is why you have obelisks everywhere. They're like tuning forks. They're resonators. Once you understand the components and how they work, you can see what was going on here. Yeah. Everything was free. Ether, energy, everything. Long exposure to the energies emitting from the alignment has physical effects on the body. So I think there was no problem actually with going into one of these things and maybe even healing yourself or getting some kind of healing meditation or something or or energy from it that just boosts your energy. I feel like a lot of these stupas were probably used to astro travel with, because you need a safe location for your body to be in, a safe space and energy for you to transfer out of that and astro travel to Ottawa, Canada to visit Chapu. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's what a lot of these stupas were used for, astro travel. They didn't have, these airships and airplanes like we think of, the rudimentary type. I think that the original people who were living in this, say, golden age or the millennial reign, I don't think they were mucking around even with cars and airplanes or dirigibles. I think that they didn't need that stuff. This is why a lot of these buildings were built without bathrooms and stuff like that. And we're like, where was all the food grown if everything was built up real high in brick? Maybe they didn't need to eat. If you don't need to eat, you don't need a bathroom, really, right? If you're a light body, you can walk on water. You don't need a boat. Jesus walked on water. He stepped on the boat and right off of it, and he was on land. So, and Jesus said, everything I can do, you can do. So let me go back over here real quick to this here. Let's scroll down here a little bit.
Yeah, does it mean you don't need to eat? You can eat if you want, because it's a thing that's a pleasure, just to eat for something good. That's why we have our bodies and our.
Either you eat to live or you live to eat. And I think they just kind of, they could eat the pleasureful things whenever they wanted and enjoyed things, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, we have to go out and hunt and feed ourselves because if not, we're going to die. Right. And I think what they ate most likely, I'm hypothesizing, guys, I don't know, but it could have sustained them a lot longer than our current food sustains us.
Yeah, real food. Yeah,
exactly.
Not processed.
Yeah, everything we're doing is wrong. All of it from day one.
Yeah. No energies in it.
So this is an aerial view of this site. You can see it's set up just like say like a harp array. This is definitely a component on the grid system. You can look off into the distance and see other components popping up out of the landscape. And you'll see more of that as I scroll down here, how the landscape is just dotted with these temples. Now, you guys have to understand, these are things not meant to be lived in, okay? They're not homes. They're not houses, but yet they're everywhere.
The second picture on top is just like a chip. A computer chip,
Exactly. It's a component on their grid system, and a very important one at that. I mean, it's a perfect array here. This was a major receiving station of energy. I mean, what's going on with this building here? It looks like it's got, I shared this picture a long time ago on mountains or melted brick buildings. I remember it.
Yeah, it's all brick. It's so big, and it's all big brick block. You can see that it's all bricks.
Yep. Now this one here is a good example. Look at all these pagodas dotted all over the place here, stupas. Okay. Now, if we saw an aerial shot of this from way up, we would see that this is most likely set up just like a computer board. These are all little mini power stations here that transfer energy back and forth, that make whatever they're doing here with this grid system work. These are not temples. They want you to think that they're temples, but this is actually a very interesting grid system here that they have set up. You see the same thing with the Mayan temples and the Aztec temples, where you just see the little tops of them sticking out of the forest, but they're all dotted around in specific locations, aligned with certain energies on certain ley lines. They were doing more than just, making temples to their gods. And where did they live? They lived in the little huts around these awesome buildings that they were building, because these aren't meant to be lived in.
No.
It's just crazy, right? Now imagine all this that we're seeing on the ground. It was all gold. They had gold on these things, guys. You need it. It's a component. The brick is part of it. The whitewashing coatings that they put on this stuff, the insulator stuff is a part of it. The gold is a part of it. The tech on top is all a part of it. It's not just ornate stuff. Now, this is interesting here. Let me pull this one up. Okay, first off, we have this crazy landscape here, right? With these melted buildings in the background. And then there's this something going on here with this lake and something in the center. Now, here, look at it. Look at this. This is like a melted building with tech on top, right? An antenna on top. Here's all muffed up and melted. And then it comes down into here with more tech.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
And here's another view of it, but it's not the greatest picture. Let me scroll down a little. Hold on. Oh.
No.
Jeez, what did it do? It went all the way back to the beginning on me. I always have that problem. All right, let's go back down here.
You see all these tops, looks like they're only the tops of huge buildings. They're just sticking out, you know.
Yeah, it could be. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
This is the one I was looking for. Look at this. What is this? What happened here? What's that? What's that? Man, that don't look good. It looks all muffed up. There it is. It's in Myanmar. Okay, here's one. Let me scroll down here. This one's, well, I don't know if they painted it gold. Oh my God, what just happened? What is that? Hey, I don't know. What happened? This always happens to me. But that one had gold on it. I was trying to show you guys. I'll go all the way back down. This site is very touchy. Too touchy for an Italian woman, I guess. My voice is real scratchy because the allergies have been bad around here. Again, the ragweed is starting to bloom, and ragweed is the worst allergy that I have. As soon as I get around that, I get an instant migraine in my sinuses. It's horrible. And I get the scratchy, watery eyes. It's just, ugh. Okay, let me show you this one here. Let's go look at this picture. What happened? It went away? Where'd it go? I clicked on it. No. Here it is. Oh, it's got all this crap on it. But this is a perfect example, guys. Look at the way they're all jutting out here, just like Shapu was saying. Like the tops of buildings popping out. But all these, now they're all made of brick, by the way, too. I can zoom in more, but I've already done India, and I've proved to you guys over and over that all this stuff that you're seeing is all made of brick. Okay? It has to be brick. Bricks are super capacitors. You would want to have brick.
Yeah.
And then they would have been covered with gold with the tech on top. Just like this one here in the background, which is all gold as well. You need gold. They didn't just like the color gold and it looked pretty and all this stuff. It had a functionality to this stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this. Look at all these. They're just everywhere. India has got some next level stuff. Everything around India, all of it, it's just next level. These are little components on the grid system. Yeah. Just like a circuit board. It's all circuitry. Look at this one here. Look at this. Wow.
Yeah.
Looks a lot like a Mayan temple right there. If you just looked at this part right here, this part of it, up, just looks like very much like a Mayan. And they said a lot of the Mayan temples look like they're from India, things that you would see in India.
Yeah, they're really similar.
Do you really believe that these are temples or tombs? Do you really believe that? Do you still believe that the pyramids are tombs?
Nope.
If they can't get the pyramids right and tell you what they are, you think they're going to tell you what these fucking things are?
No. Yeah.
All right, time to hit the bowl.
Yeah, I was thinking about something. We always talk about the bricks, and the bricks are important, but I was thinking about the mortar. Mortar plays a big part in this too. Yes. The mortar has all the salts and all the because the brick has been cooked, so there's no more live things in it. But the mortar.
I think a lot of the crystallization that takes place has to do with mortar. Mortar's
involved.
All
the plants that grows, they only grow through the mortar and follow the mortar around the bricks. You know, so I have to look it up a little bit more, but I think the mortar plays a big part in it too.
Absolutely, 100%, Chapeau, 100%. Not only who's making all these bricks, who's making all this mortar? Mortar has to constantly be stirred, guys. You can't just make up a big batch of mortar and just let it sit there. It's like kind of like a cement. You got to keep it, it's no small task. Let's just say, here's an example here. You can see this is in India, and everything you see is brick. Everything, brick and mortar. But look at it all. Look at it. Look how far down it goes. So all these temples that I'm showing you, all this stuff, even this chumpy right here, brick. Look at it.
Yeah.
Not a temple, not a tomb. Component on the grid system. Our temples on either side of our head, and the seat of our soul, which is where our pineal gland is, which connects us to the ether.
Yeah.
Etheric.
And you just read it, as above, so below, So what we see on the earth, we got the same thing in our bodies, are made the same way.
Exactly. Exactly. And when you make up a Tesla coil, you're making up the same setup, the same as how our plane is, the same as how our body works. This is why they call the DJed columns the spine of Osiris. Those hieroglyphs for the DJeds and all this stuff, they're not spiritual symbols and stuff. The Ankh is not a spiritual symbol. It's a component in that DJed column. Let me scroll all the way back. Actually, you know what? Let me go over here to this. I'll tell you guys again about the DJed columns. It's one of my favorite topics. DJed columns are everywhere. You'll even find them in graveyards with urns on top of them, or statues, or an angel on top of them. A standing column looks like a Roman column. You see them all over the place. Shit, is this going to open for me? Site's been disabled. Okay, let me talk.
Yeah, I really like your first show you did on this topic. Maybe I've watched it like 4 times already.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But last year in 2020, the Vatican made like a nativity scene in Vatican City with DJs.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I got pictures
Imagine.
somewhere. I'll make a search.
Oh, I would love to see that. All right, so what is the DJed pillar? I call them DJed columns because we see columns everywhere, but they call them DJed pillars. It's the same thing. The DJed pillar is a symbol from ancient African culture which represents concepts related to stability, representing also voltage. Now, when you look at Egypt and the stuff that they talk about, they would have you stuck on stability. It represents stability, but they're not going to mention the voltage over here, okay? It actually should be, it represents voltage and then stability on the back end, because that's the lesser part of it. It's actually just voltage, okay? That's why it's everywhere. Okay, what is the Ankh? The Ankh is a symbol of ancient African culture which represents concepts related to life and the flow of current. So now we have voltage and current. We also have stability and life. Okay, so what is the Waz scepter? The Waz scepter is a symbol of African culture which represents concepts related to power. Well, if you have voltage and you have current, you sure as hell got power. And the Egyptians, or whatever they called themselves, had power. No doubt about it. Everybody had power. Nobody did not have power. There was nobody that didn't have power.
So if you have stability in life, you have power too. This is what.
Yep, we see here in the pic Ptah holding the Ankh, which has the DJed and Waz scepter. You need all 3 of these components to make this this component work. Okay, so it says here, we see Ptah holding the Ankh, which has the DJed and Waz scepter. It's said that this instrument or God particle was used to heal the body and bring life. This instrument, It's an instrument. It's not, oh, this is a symbol for life, and this means Osiris, spine of Osiris. Nobody thinks past any of that crap. They're just, oh, those crazy Egyptians. Excuse me, it's an instrument or a God particle, which was used to heal the body and bring life. This is why the Ankh is a symbol of giver of life. But life meaning voltage and current. Life, current, flow, the flow of current. To have power, we're turned on. Our buttons are turned on. We have power and current running through our spine right now. And when it's off, we're dead. Anyway, so here it says when the electromagnet described in the book Patal technology, they're calling it Patal technology, is constructed by connecting the DJed, the Ankh, and the Waz. It heats up as electrons move through the solenoid coil of the Ankh. Thus, there is a direct relationship between the movement of electrons or electricity, to the flow of heat or thermodynamics. This relationship is further strengthened by the fact that, move my page over, the ancient African deity of technology, fact that the ancient African deity of technology and engineering named Ptah, who is depicted holding the Djed, Ankh, and Waz symbol in his staff, is said to have been married to the goddess named Skipmet, who is related to the power of heat or thermodynamics. So very interesting stuff here, guys. So they'll tell you that these are just gods, and this is just, their stuff that they held in their hands and everything, but this was actually technology. When you put these three together, which look like this in the end, you have the Djed column, the Waz scepter, and the Ankh. It's just like your electrical components that you put together to make a light switch to turn things on. Or you'll see these all over power stations when you go riding down the road and you ride past all these mini power stations.
And a big resemblance to the cross with the Jesus on it.
Yep. Let me go back over to this. The site.
If you want to see, I've got these pictures from the Vatican.
Yes. Okay, let me get out of this screen share and we'll go over to you. All right.
Before you move on to it.
Absolutely. All right, here we go.
So tell me if you see it.
Yep, it's up. I'll put it on big screen.
So this is the nativity they did, but look at this Djed. It's like Mary. And they even put like this light to make like electricity.
Dude, that is such a Djed column. I can't even believe they did that. Wow.
Right, look how
it's got electricity coming out of it. Do you see it?
Yeah. It's just a light.
They're showing you right there, guys. That's the spine of Osiris.
Exactly. This was in Vatican City. This is supposed to be...
they know about all this stuff. They know it.
Yeah.
You think that the Vatican has an electric bill? They pay. Do you think Disney World has an electric bill? You think all these massive fucking skyscraper building towers, all this crap, they are all using free energy. They're just not telling you and I about it. They're making us pay for shit.
Yeah.
Can I prove it? No, I cannot. But I'm pretty sure from seeing the modern buildings, if you even just look at Dubai, just go through the skyline of Dubai, you're going to see this kind of shit right here on screen on top of their buildings. You tell me they're not using free fucking energy. What's that building tuned into?
Imagine that.
J and B columns on either side, yeah. Jacob, Jakim, and Boaz.
Yeah.
They've taken all this stuff and bastardized it. They've renamed this stuff. They use it for themselves. They've completely hidden it from us. And if we do find it, it's usually considered taboo and you don't want to go near it or touch it. This is how they control us and keep us from things. And I was really blown away by the Quran, and I'm going to look more into that, and I'm going to, see what other things I can come up with, because we know melted is in the Bible like 39 times or something. About 15 or about maybe like 14 of it is about the destruction of cities and people and the earth itself being melted and everything. So I imagine there's a lot of stuff going on in the Quran. I just read you some of the excerpts about how we should be reminded of this, that it had happened, that the evidence is still here. It's more like only a third. Like we see all these pockets of survival, okay? And in the Quran, it talks about a third of the building being left, all the rest of it destroyed. But, a third of it is left to where you can kind of make out that it was something. But now it's just all muffed up. And we're just conditioned to think that these are carved things, or like in Turkey or Petra, they just carved it, to see it a certain way and not see it for what it really is. And these are actually, I think, all the evidence is all around us that there was a major X Factor event that took place, probably more than one of them. They seem to come in a cyclical nature, and we need to be right on the right side of things when this thing happens. They're making sure we're on the wrong side of things, and they're piggybacking the cyclical event that takes place, and they know it happens, because how else could they piggyback it and come out on the other side on top?
Yeah.
Get a little crazy sometimes. Sorry. Oh my gosh.
Good.
So you got some stuff you want to show? I know you had a couple other things you were talking about maybe showing.
Yeah. I don't know what I got right now.
You always got something. Got 46 people here. That's pretty good. Jen, yes, they use all the proceeds to play pro football and to build churches. So cathedrals are cathodes. And you know what, Shapu? I got an idea. Oh, ceiling fan man's here.
Nice. Good.
Hello. Welcome. Oh, hola.
Hola.
No.
Hey, I'm not at my computer. I'm on my phone. I'm still working and listening, but you kind of spun my head around.
Okay.
When you do the breakdown of the power. What was the Egyptian one? It was like mind. What was it? It was, I forget what you said.
It's stability. The Djed pillar is stability. The Ankh is life, and the Waz scepter is power. But it also represents voltage and current.
So then, when you put that all together, then you have the power to do these things. So take that biblically, and I think it's in Matthew somewhere. I'm not good with the numbers, but you've got to have your mind,
yes,
heart, and soul set on God. And then what does Jesus say? We can move mountains. We can do all his works and greater. Okay? And so when you take that scenario and you put it together, so then if the as above, so below thing, if you look at a tree, the branches mimic the roots. So if God talks about the heavens above, so you've got heaven above where we're looking at, underneath our feet, there's something below. And so Bible says that that's where Sheol or hell or whatever. But what's in between us? Well, waters above and below. I think when the waters maybe receded from the great flood and destroyed everything, they didn't all recede. And we're sitting on the top, and everything else that was supposed to be stuck down there, that says in the Bible, is still down there. And that's why we only know 10% of what's in the oceans. But everybody wants you to go figure out what the moon's made of and what the sun does, and just keep figuring that out. We should never look down in the oceans, even though all the ancient, Greeks and all these things come out of the sea. Godzilla comes out of the sea. Everything comes out of the sea. Everything's down there. And we're just, once again, told, don't look here, right? Don't look at the Bible, even though it's the only book I know that consistently has things in it that are happening right now. Somebody show me another book. You can still do that. I don't care who you said read the Bible. It's weird how this book, thousands of years old or however old it is, matches up consistently. More than one thing keeps happening that's in that book. So let's not look at these buildings, because now here's another scripture that the Quran is corroborating it by saying, he left a third of these structures. So that means 2/3 are under. Everything's thirds and 2/3. a third of the fallen angels, but 2/3 are still working with God. So how do we connect to them? Because see, what I think they're doing is like everything else Satan does, artificially. Maybe we're looking at all the tops of their things and they're still using it. They channel our energy, right? Because CERN didn't do anything but have what? Satanic rituals, channeled energy. And then what did they do? They figured out the God particle. You just said the same thing about what the Egyptians were doing.
Yeah.
So now if you take that idea, so what is the ether? Well, what if that is the connection to heaven? So how do they do it? Artificially. How are we supposed to do it? Figuring out our connection to God through Jesus, and then you connect to what? The Ethernet. And what do we call it? The Holy Spirit, the Comforter.
That's right.
I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Sounds good to me.
It sounds good to me too. Yeah.
Did I take a breath?
I don't know. I don't think you did. I was holding my breath too. It was so good.
Okay, well, I don't want to hijack the show. That thought was in my head and I had to get it out. And I thought that was the perfect place.
Really good,
Shampoo, you're amazing. Just keep doing these things with Jen. The pictures you find, I don't even know where you find them, so it's wonderful.
Thank you, CFM.
Okay, see you guys.
All right, bye-bye. Love you.
Love you.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see here. I had something else I was going to show. Let me see. Oh, this. I don't have a screen share up, so let me see here.
This power, we have to give it willingly, you know. They trick you to give it away because you don't know how to. But they trick you every way they can to give it away, and yeah.
They tricked us into giving our free will away too. People don't even engage in their free will. They don't even know they have it. They don't use it. It's been hijacked.
Yeah.
So you had something up. Didn't you have something up that you were going to show?
Yeah, we showed it. It was the dead, but I was looking for before CFM came on. I was looking for something.
Let me see here. If I showed everything on this one site, I got to scroll down a little bit more. Yeah, I did. I showed all that stuff. Okay, let me see here. Okay, I was over here on this. Let me go back over to here, this landscape stuff here. Okay, here I was. I was on this. Can you see this?
Yeah, it's coming. Yes.
Okay. Yep. So we're here in India still. This is around Myanmar and stuff like that. But here's a huge one off in the distance. I find it interesting too. Like you'll see this type of thing here. Like, did everybody live in this thing here? And these were all grid system around them? Because you rarely see, you'll see like a palatial estate, kind of like Hampton Court, you know? But then you'll have all these other grid system components around, like here. They say these are temples and stuff. Nobody lives in these.
No.
And it also looks like this one here that I was just on. Let me move back over here. Kind of reminds me of a cemetery in a way. See, because you see them all dotted along here and stuff like that. Like these smaller ones.
Yes.
Like here. Like this would be like a cemetery. Like with only that stuff sticking out, you know, like just that. Steve found some cool stuff underneath a cemetery, some stuff that goes down. I know the one cemetery that I was in Philly had a water tower that had steps going down that it was boarded off, but the board was broken. And I peeked in. I wish I still had that video. And you could see steps going down. I don't know where they led to, but it was an underground to the cemetery. There's a lot going on underground that they're not telling us, guys. Way more than we can even imagine, and definitely a lot more under the oceans. When I had Fervent Heat on, I think for the first time on my old show, on my old channel, on this show though, the Ripple Effect, he was showing all the apertures he could see in the water with these islands and stuff, and you could see how far down it goes. That it went down a lot further. They're definitely not telling us what's going on underwater. And then people have said there's pyramids under the water. You know, there's different if you look at Google Earth, if you want to, believe that type of stuff, you could see a lot of structure within their Google Earth under the water and stuff. Straight lines, all this stuff.
Yeah. And lately I've been looking at a lot of pictures from high up. It's funny you just mentioned that.
Oh, yeah? You want to bring something up?
Yeah, we could look at some together because I didn't look at them really thoroughly.
Sounds good. All right, here we go.
So these are just from, you see it?
Yes.
So these are from like different places around. I was just looking at the formation of some places and some things. But I don't know if there's a particular place that you could look in. Because they're pretty, I think they're pretty big too. Can like zoom in like almost like a Google Earth, but these are only high up pictures. Like this one. Let's see, there probably was one big structure right here.
Oh, yeah. I just sent you something. I'm sending you something else. That's what's going on with your messages right now. Sorry.
Yeah, I want to go and look it up. Oh yeah, this thing.
Yeah, but I have something to go with it. Hold on. Something else I'm sending you. As I can find it within all my screenshots here. Jeez. I got so many freaking screenshots. It's unbelievable. Just 1 second.
Yeah, I'm just looking for an interesting one. I even got some higher ones to see. Volcano. Like this. Just tell me when you're ready.
Okay, hold on.
It makes beautiful, like, flowing patterns.
Yeah, these are really cool. You could see the melt pattern in a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
The Grand Canyon looks really trippy from way up.
Yeah. I think I've got some. This is the one I took maybe the start of this week. Because I didn't really do research this week. I just took a break.
I hear ya. I had my mom here. She's still here till May 14th. And my son Ryan is coming up May 8th, staying for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be really, really busy and stuff. I haven't really been focusing too much on research and stuff.
Yeah, me neither. But you had a lot of great weather, so you...
Yeah, it's been really... Today was beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, me too. Here it was the first 20 degrees weather. I went out and do some biking.
You went biking in that weather?
Yeah, here I want to have the 20. It's like maybe for you like 70s or something like that. But maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy looking.
Yeah, sometimes I don't have the where it is. But
wow.
This one. It's in Africa, Table Mountain.
We live we live amongst the ashes and ruins of the old whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's all around us. Sodom and Gomorrah is not an isolated event. I think this happened everywhere, and it happened to different degrees in different locations.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one, Chapu. Look at that.
Yeah. This. How would you build this giant wall? You know. Again, I think it's in India.
I think you're right about this one in India. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can see this one too. It's in India. I think this one you are the one who sent me like a link
Yeah.
to this place.
Right. And this is out in the water. I mean, they're building this in like the 11th and 12th century and stuff. Almost everything in India they attribute to the 12th century, and then they get into like the early 1600s with some of their fortifications and stuff like that.
Yeah. And the town is so small on the other side. Why would you need like this kind of fort? You know.
Is it a fort or a fish?
This one is.
Well, there's one thing for certain. It's not what they're telling us it is. We
Some
can all
ruin.
agree on that.
Yeah. You know, there's all these island that.
Oh, yeah. Look at how that's smushed right out on itself. It's just melted down. You can see it.
Yeah.
This is like what Fervent Heat was showing.
Yeah, when you mentioned it, I just thought of these eye up pics, and maybe there's some like you can see. I know I've seen one that you can really see like the arches below. And
remember Bella Island? Do you remember the live stream I did on Bella Island? I don't even know if I still have that Bella Island live stream.
yeah, if you don't, I probably do have it somewhere.
Yeah, Bella Island. That's trippy. You can tell that's all one big building.
Yeah. But if you want, I can bring up what you sent me, because I can.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Bring that up. Yeah, because we're going to probably wrap this up here in a little while. We've been on about 2 hours now, I think.
And I found these rendition that they did. But they came this way, but I tried to make it flatter. You see that this is the original one.
Oh, yeah, good job.
Put it flatter too, but just to see like the relief of the terrain. But I think they're just like generated.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Generated curve. All right. So, guys, this was in Mountains Are Melted Brick Buildings, Facebook. I think, I want to say Deborah Simpson, Red Brick Chick, may have posted this. Can we zoom in on it on your end, Chapu? Can you zoom?
I'll try.
All right. Because I know Facebook's a little touchy with it sometimes. If I was showing it, I'd be able to zoom because I'm on a laptop.
No, I can't.
Okay.
I can save it and.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So I saw that picture, and I was blown away by it because we've been looking for something that we've been trying to see this thing on what's it called? Ogashima, the island of Ogashima. It's a volcanic island. It's actually a melted building. It was some type of tower. And it has this lattice-looking work on the sides of it that looks like a melted building. And it looks like it's melted over the sides of the landscape and stuff. And they say it's for landslides, to prevent landslides and stuff. So let's go to the next picture. Because this is an actual feature. Okay, now, I wish we could zoom in on this. Anyway, so this is the lattice work that you see on the side of Ogashima in Japan, and it looks eerily similar to the picture we just looked at. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to have Chapu do a comparison picture on these. And now go to the next one, because the next one I think is a closer picture of it. Yeah, there's that one there. And then let's go to the next one, because the next one should be, that one there. Okay. Yeah. So this, they say, is to prevent landslides. That they put all this in like this, as to prevent any sliding happening onto the roads and stuff like that. But it looks very, very much like that first picture. If you're able to slide back to that first picture I sent you, that one right there. And this is a natural formation, which it's not natural. They say it's a natural formation according to geologists. And I believe that this one is out in Utah. I'm not sure the exact locations, but I can get it. But let's scroll through the rest of the pictures again. We'll go back. There you go. Keep going. One more. And then there's this. This building here is a modern building, clearly, but it also has the same type of like a lattice work to it, the way that the building's put together. And I thought, there's many more examples, but this was just one that I had grabbed off the internet to show that, they did build buildings like this, that this could be comparable to something like that. I don't know if it's just for landslides or not. There's a lot of strange stuff on Agashima Island, and this stuff is everywhere in places it shouldn't even be. And that's very interesting. And nobody ever really covers it when they talk about the island. It's actually something that they steer away from in their videos and stuff. But it's so compelling and massive. If you can go back maybe one or two pictures, you can see it takes up the whole one side of that mountain, which they say is a mountain. To me, it looks like a melted building. Go back one more. There you go. That's now I really wish I could scroll in on this one. As a matter of fact, I'll see if I can get this one up on my end and take over the screen share and zoom in.
All right.
Now you stay where you're at right now until I get my stuff ready. Oh, did you let go of it already?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, just give me 1 second. Let me see if I can get it to work. It's always iffy on my end with the messaging for Facebook. Let's see if it'll work. I sent all these pictures to Fervent Heat because he had sent me some compelling stuff that he found too, on this particular lattice work stuff. We found another location, not on this island. I don't know where it was, but it was underneath all of this foliage and stuff. Shit, that's
Yeah.
Hold on. What did I just do? It's not working. All right, that's not cool. I don't know if it's going to work for me, guys. It's very temperamental. Oh, boy. All right, well, I guess I'm not going to get it. But, yeah, so I wanted to show those pictures and that there was actual, not everything looks just melty and melted. Some things are like melted and destroyed, like kind of knocked over looking and stuff. Somewhere over there in Utah, I think it is, there's that cube. Remember the cube rock? It's in one of those strange locations out in the Midwest or something. It's a cube. It's like the whole right side of it is shaped perfect cube. It's in one of those national parks. I forget, but it was on the site the other day. And that clearly is part of a building as well. All right, let me see here. I think it's going to work for me now. I think I got it. All right, we're going into a screen share. Here we go. Cross your fingers, everybody. All right. All right, so you can see this, Shapu?
Sorry. It's coming. Yeah, now I see it.
Okay, good. So I'll go back to this picture. All right, guys, look at this thing. Now, I mean, it's pretty crazy looking. I know. Sure, it could be used for landslides. Why not? Sure. But when you look around Yugashima and you start looking at the whole thing, and there's lots of very, very interesting anomalies on this island. Let me go to this next one here. Okay, here's kind of like a bird's eye view of it.
Yeah, why would you just do it right there and there's like no town below it? So what are you doing this for, It's
Yeah, It's so crazy and creepy looking and weird. But here's this other one's really good. This vantage point. I guess it's from the road, maybe looking up. It's pretty crazy. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And then we'll take it back to this picture here, which is what we saw in this location here. This is supposed to be natural. It's supposed to be natural, guys. Look at this thing. This looks like a destroyed, muffed up, melted building that's just like literally just pulling apart from itself or something. What do you think, Chapeau?
Yeah, it looks exactly like what you just said, because I don't really know what's going on, you know.
I mean, that's like almost identical to what we were just looking at. Over
It's
here.
either we only see the mortar left and all the bricks were just popped out, or it was something else.
Something. It's very strange. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting find.
I was trying to find a picture and I can't. I don't know where it is.
I think it's off Deborah's post, one of Deborah's posts. Very compelling evidence. Do with it what you will. I was just showing it to you. And what's this here? Oh, you sent me this. This is like a newer one. This is on Mount Fuji. Oh, and look, these coins are bent sideways. Are you still there?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, these ones are all crammed in there, bent sideways. But this is a new one, and it's on Mount Fuji.
Yeah, it's on the top of Mount Fuji.
Also, some say that this is the Tower of Babel, or what's left of it. That it was much higher, and there's only a third of it left now. And all these buildings around it, all this stuff here that people call mountains, they are saying, just like Sodom and Gomorrah were buildings, they're saying that this was a building. But now, it's just a mountain. Just saying.
Yeah.
So it takes me back to this picture here, because we just looked at this, okay? And then we have this modern building right here. Boom, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying. It was the first thing that I could grab really quickly to try to show what I meant about this, because it reminded me also of the hotel in North Korea. Remember that weird pyramid hotel? Chapeau?
Oh, yes, the big one. Yeah.
This reminds me of that, because it's got all those little square windows in it, remember?
Yes, it's all squared like this, yeah.
Like if that thing melted over, you know what I'm saying? That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, it's like the same scenery too. It's on the side of a mountain and out of nowhere.
Yeah, all that crazy stuff. What's this here I wanted to show you too? Oh, yeah. Did you show me this, or did I send this to you? I think they tried to rebuild part of this for tourism. There's some people going in here, but this whole thing. Oh, this is the one that looks like it's a coming out of a volcano rim. This rim right here.
Palmero,
Yeah. Here's the aerial shot of it, I think. Mm-hmm. Look at this, guys. This looks like a volcano slope right here. What they tell you is a volcano right here. And then what's in the center? Fucking city popping out of it. Yeah. I mean, you look at this thing. What's going on? Look how far down it goes. All in here. This the whole thing was the building. All of it.
Yeah. You can see the wall is going into the mountain.
Yep. And I think there was this one. No, we looked at that. Hold on. This one. Again, it looks like a volcano. It's very Herodium-ish, you know. Also Vesuvius-ish, okay? Right along here. And then, boom, you got this popping out of it. I don't know. What else do we have here? Okay. What's all this? I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Sure, they rebuilt part of this stuff and got it all freshened up for tourists and stuff. But
Yeah, they tried to destroy it, and when they destroyed Palmyra.
Oh, yeah, we got to leave a little for tourism, though. Got to get people back over here. Come see this stuff. All right, there was a couple other
this one I sent you.
Yep. That one. I love the comparison video, the pictures. The comparison pictures are amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a really good one right there. They make a shit ton of money off this place with tourism, guys. If they can't destroy it, they either rebuild it and repurpose it, and then boom, tourism. They did that with Vesuvius.
Yes.
This is all Chapuis did all this side-by-side stuff. This was crazy. I couldn't believe that they rebuilt it that much. That really blew my mind, because I really thought it was found more in this condition than this, you know?
Yeah. I did not do all of them, but some of them, yes.
This one, again. See, you know, like I said, if God ruined these things, if he destroyed them in some mannerism through earthquake and heat and all this stuff, why would they rebuild it like that? You know what I mean? It's almost to me like a slap in the face kind of thing, in a way, you know?
Yeah.
This was really rebuilt a lot. Wow. And that, like, you would have never even known all this was under here. Just coming upon it, you know?
It's only grass and rocks, yeah. But if you need to, you look underneath. It's benches, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I can definitely tell that's new. All cleaned up. And this was really interesting, too, because this was really, really damaged in 1875. Really muffed up. But now it's like, oh, we're all good. We're back to normal. Nothing happened here. Right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Go to the next one. Oh, and this one was another interesting. When I saw this, it reminded me of the Sphinx and how they've rebuilt the Sphinx and everything.
Yeah.
But look, guys, look under here. Look at all this brick. Do you see it? All under here, brick. This whole thing. And it had a covering over it. And under here, you can see brick. Look, brick right here. Brick. More brick. And then now look. They covered it all up. Fixed it all up. And there you have it. People go up here all the time for tourism as well. Popular tourist spot.
Yeah.
Oh, let me come out of this a little bit. Here you go. You would just see this thing poking out from the tops, just like in India. Some of the vegetation has grown up around it. You just see the tops of them.
Yeah, it looks like a temple on top of a mountain, but the mountain's a building.
Absolutely. It's the Pyramid of Babel. I couldn't believe it said the Pyramid of Babel. I'm like, what's the Quran know that we don't know? We're calling it the Tower of Babel. They're saying the Pyramid of Babel. I mean, who's right? I don't know.
Yep.
It's interesting that to compare the information. It really is. All right, so we're going to get out of this screen share. Was I screen sharing, Chapu?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I thought I wasn't for a second. I don't know what happened. My stuff just went black.
Oh, really? No, we saw everything. Yeah.
We got 48 people here. I'm going to get ready to get out of here, spend some time with the family, maybe go smoke up a big fatty.
Yeah, me too.
If anybody's late to class, please rewind. You missed a lot. I had a little rant in the beginning. I think it's very important for all of us to stay vigilant at this particular time in the apocalypse. All is being revealed. A lot of people are doing flips right now, flipping the script. And it's shocking to a lot of us when this happens, especially when they put out so much good information. And now it seems, and like I said, we saw this before, it's Mandela effect. Not so much with flat Earth. You can't really come back from flat Earth. You know what I mean? You can't ever just be like, oh, yeah, I was wrong about that flat Earth. We're on a ball. We're still spinning. It's okay. You don't really hear that much, but I have heard a lot of people who were into the Mandela effect switch their gears up really quickly. It's kind of like Joe Rogan, what he did. You know, he was all in the truth, and then suddenly, bam, he got hit in the head with a pot or something, and now he's all back, you know, into the matrix again. But we're seeing a lot of this bait and switch stuff going on. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Take the meat, spit the bones, and don't get too stuck on these people who do flip the script and start, you know, backpedaling and go in the opposite direction than heading towards truth where they've been headed this whole time. Just appreciate what you did get out of it and move on from it. Don't stay trapped in the drama. Don't be like, well, what happened to them? How did this happen? I really liked them or her or whatever. You know, it is what it is. They showed their true fruits. And, you know, at some point, somewhere along the way, you were able to extract some truth from that person, had a piece to your puzzle, or maybe you just enjoyed their presentation and the way they presented better than somebody else, and you were able to watch it all the way through and figure things out a little bit better than, say, watching me or somebody else. Because a lot of people don't like the way I present. They think I'm quite annoying, actually. And that's okay. I'm okay with it. I mean, I do sound a little annoying if I rewatch my show and I hear myself talking and I want to read the chat or something. I have to like mute myself. I'm like, oh my God, was I really saying it like that? But, you know, I can laugh at myself. It's all good. And anyway, I'm just saying, just stay vigilant and do your own research and keep your discernment honed. This is a time for us to really hone in on our discernment. And all these years that we've been focusing and picking apart stuff and throwing away the stuff we don't need, this is what we've been preparing for, this time when we're going to really see people's fruits, and we're really going to need that discernment, because it's going to be shocking to you. The people who you thought were one way about stuff and heading in the right direction are suddenly going to be putting the brakes on and switching gears and turning around the other way. And it's shocking, but it's also things that we need to see, we need to learn, and we need to grow and move on from.
Yep. Use your eyes and your heart instead of just your eyes and your brain. Just feel it. Just don't think too much about it.
Yeah. Know it in your gut. Be grateful that you're seeing it for what it is, and take from it what you can, and just leave the rest and move on. And, the only thing that evil needs to prevail is for good men and women to stand by and do nothing. So let it not be said that we stood by and did nothing. I love you guys. I love Shapu. Shapu, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Ceiling Fan, if you're still listening, thank you so much for hanging out for a little bit too. We appreciate your insight and your interjection here into the show. I wish you could have hung out longer, but maybe next time. So any closing thoughts, Shapu?
Not really. I just want to thank you to inviting me again. It was, I was late coming. I was sleeping. Just woke up at 7. Oh man, I didn't answer Jan. So,
well, I noticed Jinx hasn't been in the background really bugging you too much. Where do you have her hiding at?
See, wait, no, right there, here. You see her ears?
I can see her ears now. Yeah, okay. She's really quiet tonight.
Yes, she came on early. If you rewatch it, maybe you'll see her. I have held her in front of the camera, but I think she knows that you're talking about her. She's looking.
What's up, Jinx? So
you can see her.
Oh, I see her. She's so cute.
Yeah.
I just want to say one last thing before we go. Jesus is the truth, the way, and the life. So if you're seeking truth, you're seeking Jesus, whether that's his name or not, or whatever, the Son of God. I'm just saying, if you're staying with truth, you stay in line with truth. It's a narrow path, and just stay on it. And he will guide you. I feel like a lot of these truths that I've come upon over these last few years, and the things that, I had to, rethink and maybe push some things aside that I shouldn't have been looking at and stuff like that, and got on the path again and everything. He always guides us. He's showing us things. We are the apocalypse. We're meant to bring this out. And, I feel like I am honing in on my connection to the Creator and being more of a co-creator in this plane of existence that we're in. And I feel like, we all have our part to play in this apocalypse. It's happening through us. It's coming out through us. And it's only happening through that divine spirit that is within us and flowing all around us all the time. He's everywhere. He's here with us. Whatever you want to call it, whatever the Creator, this whole thing is. I mean, they have us trapped in names and all this stuff, and the wrong name and the right name and whatever. But it is powerful and it's palpable, and you can feel it when you're in line with it. And that's truly amazing. And you can't ever take that away from somebody once they feel that. And I'm so grateful to have all you guys here with me along for this journey. So on that note, I'm going to get out of here. I love you guys, and I'll see you probably pretty soon.
Thanks, everyone.
We're out of here.